Hello and welcome to Let's Play Front Mission with your host, as always, Mah-Dry-Bread. Real quick before we get started, as you can see on screen here, this is actually a fan translation, because the SNES version of this game was only ever in Japan. And before we get into this, I want to let you guys know the rules real quick about this Let's Play, so everyone tuning in will know whether they want to watch it or not. I won't be using any save state abuse or any turbo mode, so I'm going to play this as if I were to be playing it on an SNES. It's a 100% playthrough, so I'm doing every optional mission, and I'm going to show how to get every single secret character, and do all the little Easter eggs and stuff. And any kind of power leveling I'm going to be doing in the arena will all be off-screened, as well as upgrading the Wanzers will be off-screen, so you guys don't need to sit through all of that, you can just watch the missions. But before missions, I will quickly run through my equipment if there have been major changes, so you guys can kind of play along at home if you want to. Also, I won't be reading aloud all of the dialogue, just because it bugs some people. I'm just kind of giving the Cliff Notes versions, and I'll try and give you guys some backstory while things go along to make sure that everyone's keeping pace with the story. Without further ado, let's begin. Alright, if any of you were wondering there, why the music sounded so Chrono Trigger-ish, this was an early Squaresoft game. This is the first interesting part of the translation, actually. This is our main character, and it says his name is Lloyd. It's actually unknown whether or not his name should be Lloyd or Royd, because, you see, L's and R's between English and Japanese often get mistranslated and mixed up. And his name in the Japanese version was Royd with one R, so it's unknown whether his name was supposed to be Royd because there was one R instead of two R's, which would translate to Lloyd, or it was supposed to be Lloyd and they just spelt it incorrectly. But we're going to be going with the default here of the English translation, which is Lloyd. And that'll be his call sign as well. Oceania Cooperative Union, rather, is the team that we're a part of. It is Australia, Japan, and some of Southeast Asia. USN is the United States of the new continent, which is all of the continent of America, both north and south. They're the other major superpower of the world right now. always thought that was an awful name for a Wanzer. Ooh. Yeah, that kind of sandy brown is the color of the USN Wanzers usually have. Oh, Driscoll, you're one of the most memorable RPG villains that I can remember. Alright, I'll explain the basics of the game now. The three of us are here, of course. All of our Wanzers will be colored differently from later in the game, so don't go thinking that all silver ones are us. But this is a turn-based strategy RPG, so we're moving panel by panel. You can see all the information along the top as your character's selected, although you don't need to do them in any particular order. You can switch through at any point. I'll explain combat once we get into combat, but quick little bit of backstory on our main characters after this. Here's our first look at combat. And you can see Karen got completely messed up by Driscoll, who is towering over her in his Wanzer. Wanzer are these basically battle mechs, by the way. This entire part is scripted, by the way, so this is not random at all. And of course, you have no actual option to run away here. You have to continue to get closer. This is basically the tutorial level. Our main character, Lloyd, by the way, is Australian. He's one of the few characters in the game that they actually say the nationality of. It's pretty much the first 10-ish characters you get they say the nationality of, then they just kind of stop. Odd little fact about the game. Yeah, that's a hell of a way to kick off your game, and make a villain instantly, a memorable villain. Killing your fiancé. So the next round, I believe we should be starting combat. I just want to point out this game has amazing music. Okay, we're under attack here, and we get to pick our weapon, or what we want to do as an action in retaliation. If we use the same kind of weapon, the opponent will attack first. There are three kinds of weapons: melee, short, and long. Long is, of course, a long-range attack that attacks from panels away. Short is any kind of short-ranged firearm, and melee is punching. So I have the PAP 55, which I know it looks like two S's, it's 55. The font in this game isn't very good. And Zenith Punch, which is an unarmed punch with a Zenith arm. I'm gonna go with my short-ranged weapon, that's what Lloyd is best with. And Guard is to try and minimize damage by absorbing it with your arms. As you can see there, each arm has health, the legs have unified health, and the body has health. If the legs or arms get destroyed, then they lose that body part unless it's repaired in some way. If the body is destroyed, the whole Wanzer explodes. And we're going to be doing the bulk of the fighting here with our two named characters, as they did give us a generic third guy, but there's no use getting experience for him because he's an unnamed character, we'll never use him again. Sakata is your friend, and he works with you, of course. He's under your command. And OCU Soldier, you can just stay away. I'm not going to be using you. Now, I believe all you have to do here is destroy all of these weak Wanzers that are around Driscoll. And of course I'm going to retaliate with my short-range weapon. To explain a little bit more about these guns, wow, actually my body is pretty damaged. To explain a bit more about how these weapons work, it's not always the attacker attacks first. Melee attacks first against long-ranged attacks. Long-range attacks, it's rock, paper, scissors, basically. Not in how effective it is, but what attacks first. Long attacks before short, short attacks before melee, melee attacks before long. It more so applies in the arena than anything, but even out on the battlefield, guns will go off before fists. Also, the PAP-55 is a machine gun, which means it fires 4 times for 6 damage each, as you can see at the bottom left there. Hit is your chance to hit with each bullet. Range 1 out of 1, which means adjacent. And you can't attack diagonally, by the way. Or rather, you can only attack diagonally, because it's, you know, tilted on the side. And BL is your ammunition, or bullets. Unlimited. All short weapons have unlimited. Only long-range attacks will have a limit. So I'm attacking 4 times with my gun. So it will hit random body parts with each shot. You can't really determine that until you've gained skills that let you aim it later on. So there are differences between short rifles, like the Ibis, and machine guns. See, Ibis is very powerful but single shot, so we took out his legs with that. Legs are generally the least important part to have. Not having legs will slow you down severely, but it's not a huge deal. Arms are worse because arms you lose that weapon for the rest of the fight. Wow, Lloyd went down! See, I believe this is the only mission in the entire game where Lloyd can go down and you don't fail. You see, after enough turns, this happens anyways. It just happens early if Lloyd goes down. I believe in every other mission of the game, though, it's a game over if Lloyd drops. To catch you up in brief, if you didn't want to read all of that Star Wars text there, that whole incident, now dubbed the Larkus incident, that we just did there with the factory, that since we were basically spying on their land, they considered it an act of war. 1 year has passed now, and we're in the Second Huffman War, which we're on the Huffman Island, which is a fictional island. So, the USN and the OCU are at war again. And we were with the OCU previously. And as we're just now learning, I like it better if you lost once in a while. Yeah, as we're now learning, we basically dropped into the military after that, and we've been fighting for money recently at the Coliseums, because we're a damn good Windsor pilot. The champion from hell, Lloyd with 12 consecutive wins versus the Scarlet Devil. Now this match is somewhat rigged. It doesn't matter if you win or lose this match, it just changes some dialogue. But you are a better pilot, even though you have some of the worst parts in the entire game. So you can see here we can give up guard. The Pez 3? I don't know. Piz 3? There's a 3 on the far right there. That's how much ammunition you have. That's a long-range shoulder-mounted missile. We'll be using the Raptor, which is a very, very low-power machine gun. Because again, our character is best with short-range weapons. I was hoping to take out an arm. Oh, he took out my arm. Oh. Oh, this is bad. If I lose both arms, I'm doomed because I can't attack. I took out one of his arms. Except I think he'll punch first. Yep. This could be very bad. We might lose this fight. Legs? Good. Head? Good. Oh, fuck. I was hoping to take out an arm. We've lost. Yep. Yep. We're an ace pilot. It's pretty much just luck, really. Shut up. I'm pretty sure that's the only line that changes. If you win, he says, "I see your skills haven't diminished." Carrion Crow is actually sometimes referred to as Canyon Crow, due to their logo saying Canyon Crow. It's actually unknown whether or not that was a typo or a mistranslation, or what the reason of that is. Ooh, low blow. Lowly. Okay, well, I did lose to that chump. Scarlet Devil. It's quite the whim to go on. But then again, Driscoll is a pretty high-ranking officer of the opposing army. Nice. Alright, all we have to do is go to the military office to start up the next mission. But before we end the episode, I will be showing you a little bit of what the menu system is like. The shop is where you can go... Forgot about the hippie. And the awesome music. This is where you can buy new parts with the money that you've earned either in the arena or your missions to upgrade your mechs. I'll be showing you a little bit of that. You can upgrade weapons and parts, of course. Sorry, I'm getting readjusted to my controls I have set for this. I have not played an SNES game in a while. You can put weapons in your hands and on your shoulders. Although this store doesn't sell any for shoulders yet. Shoulders are where you put usually shields and missiles. Hands are where you put tonfas for punching, short-range guns, a few long-range guns. Paint is completely free to repaint a mech if you want to. You can rename your machine at any point. Ours is called Shriek. Or Shrike? Shrike? Is that it? I don't even know. I'll have to look that up. And parts is where you can pick your body, which I'll run over the stats real quick. Engine, yes, they called engine in this translation, I think it's called power and others. Defense is how much damage you negate. Health is how much health that individual part has. Weight is how much it weighs. You can't go over a certain weight of, I believe, 100. You can see W/P in the top right there. That's your weight for power. And that's why I say engine is a mistranslation, because it should be power, like the P there, because that's what it's translating to. Your backpack and your body give you more engine, or power, I'll just call it power. And your power to weight ratio is what determines when you can't carry any more equipment. Arms have the extra stat of instead of power they have hit, which is your accuracy that you're going to have with that arm, both with punching, or not with punching with that arm, but with shooting with that arm. At the bottom where it says weapon, that's if you were to use that arm as punching without like a punching weapon like a tonfa. So if I were to use the Zenith arm, it would have an 82% chance to hit at about 9 damage, and that is further modified by, of course, your fight skill, which is melee. Legs have engine, so power. A few of them do give power, and move, which is of course how many panels you move. Different types of legs are better at different terrains, but any kind of like humanoid walking legs are pretty versatile, and they're best at climbing out of any kind of leg. Computer lets you swap out the pilot in the the computer in the cockpit, which changes your fight, short, long, and agility skills, with fight being melee, short being short-range guns, long being long-range guns like missiles, and agility being your chance to completely dodge attacks. And lastly, backpack, which you can't buy yet. They increase your item slots and increase your power, and sometimes have little bonuses, so backpacks are just straight-up plus. There's no downside to backpacks. I don't think there's any backpack with a downside, actually. So I'll be doing that off screen, although I'll be showing you the results of it later. You can buy items as well, like S Repair, which I actually want to buy 5 of. These are small repair packs you can carry into battle. You can talk to the owner and he'll just give you advice. Please come again. You can go to the bar where it's mostly flavor text in the bar. I'll be going in the bar a lot just for those interested. Although you can recruit a few secret characters in the bar. The way things are going, this town will fall into the enemy any day now. I also like how they have names. Some of it's really not important. Also, an interesting thing, a few of the people you talk to in the bars across Huffman Island, a few of them actually become key characters in later front mission games. I won't really be able to point them out, though, because, to be honest, the first front mission is the only front mission game I've ever played. Although I do have a PS2, so I really should buy some of the other ones one day. Yes, yes. Okay, this is all stuff that I've already explained. But I will actually be making all the Wanzers on my team different. You could just give them, like, the best equipment overall, and you would be just fine going through the game, but it's kind of boring having them all be identical except for the pilot's skill. So I will be making them all pretty different, or as different as I can make them. It'll make the game a little bit more fun. Yeah, in the actual battlefield, if one of your teammates goes down, you have to pay a pretty hefty price to repair their Wanzer after the fight. The Coliseum is, of course, where we can just go in. And you have to do versus play to play multiplayer. Or you can pick any of the people in the local arena. You can see their stats. The more not in your favor the odds are, odds being the closer to 1, or the closer to 0 rather, the better the odds, the farther up, the worse the odds. Like these Demon 5 would completely cream me. But the better the odds, or the worse the odds in your favor, and the more money you bet, the more money you'll get in return. So I will be using that to get a lot of money and experience between fights, so that I can stay well equipped, and so I'm powerful enough that I don't need to worry about having super long episodes of back and forth stuff. Because I don't want to make this too boring to watch. The game's not a great spectator sport, I just think it's a very interesting game, and I thought some people would enjoy watching it. So, by all means, go out and purchase this game. Whoa, that was weird. Go out and purchase this game. It had an amazing DS remake that is in English, so if you like what you see, go out and buy the game. I have the DS remake. It adds an entire extra story mode. It's absolutely amazing. And this is the setup area where you can take items you already have, usually procured from missions, and attach it to your Wanzers. Or you can give them items. So, I'm gonna give them 1 extra S repair. So just make sure to check out there every once in a while. And I guess that's it for this first episode. And the start of the next episode, we're going to the military office to do our first real mission. So, thank you everybody for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.